Trebles, I'm Andrea, and today I'm going to be doing this Blushing Popcorns Hexagon from book 42 of Big and Little Crochet. If you're not sure what Big and Little Crochet is, go back and check on some of my playlist. There's lots of information. I've done every single one of these hexagons so far. It's a part work, very briefly though, Big and Little Crochet is a part work by Hachette. You get 2 books a month, it's a subscription. It's $11.99 I think, or 98 a month, and each book has got a theme. This one is Autumnal Offerings, and each book has a masterclass, abbreviations and different stitch techniques, and it has a hexagon, and the hexagons all joined together to make this lovely throw. We've done 39, this will be the 39th piece I think, and after every 13th piece you get a joining pattern. So the next book will be a joining pattern, and you edge each piece in white, and then you join them together according to a plan that is in the book. So we've joined at the moment big central piece and one side and bottom edge, and then there's 2 pieces, 2 patches of 7 each I think to join together. So yeah, I'm going to get on with this. Now they do send you the yarn that you need. With every book comes with some yarn. You get little gifts throughout the year, and if you subscribe to premium service, and you also get all the tools that you need. 4mm hook for this. This yarn feels to me like a creative sort of cotton Aran. I think it's a Rico. The Rico range seems to have the same colours, but it doesn't tell you that. So for this one we're going to be using what's called Blush, River and Petrol yarns for this one. So we're going to start off with a slip knot as usual. And apologies for the light, it's just getting light outside, so the light should improve as we go along. And we're going to chain 8. Sorry about that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to put our hook into that first chain, pull through a loop, and pull it through the loop on our hook to make a little ring for us to crochet into. The first time I do this is the first time I look at the pattern is when I crochet it, so I'm as fresh to it as you are. So chain 3, and then we want to put 23 trebles into the ring. So this a treble, this is in UK terms, so a treble is a double in US terms. So this chain 3 is a standing chain and counts as a treble or a double in US. So then we want 23 more. So yarn over into the ring, pull up a loop. So you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then just repeat that 23 times. Okay. And then your last one, 23, and then you just join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. So your chain 3, 1, 2, there's the third one, grab that, pull yarn through, put it through the loop on your hook, and finish off or fasten off. That's your first round. And now we're going to join the petrol yarn, which is this darker blue, and we're going to join it to any stitch. So what you want to do is make sure you put your hook under 2 pieces of the stitch like so, not in between a stitch. Grab your yarn, you can just tie it on if you want, but I'm going to do it this way. Grab your yarn on your hook, pull it through the yarn and the straggler through the loop on your hook, and then you can drop the straggler and start to do your work. So what you want to do is chain 5, and this counts the first three stitches count as a treble crochet or a double in the US, and the second two count as a chain 2. And now what you want to do is yarn over, miss the next stitch, and then do a treble or a double in the US into the next. And I'm going to hold my straggler across the back and sew it in. So miss this stitch and go into the next stitch. So we yarned over first, miss the stitch, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop of yarns, there's 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to yarn over. I'm holding that straggler at the back again, miss a stitch, go into the next stitch, and do a treble crochet or a double in the US. Chain 2, hold that straggler again, yarn over, miss this stitch, go into the next stitch, and just do that all the way around until you've got 12 spaces and 12 sort of spokes. So we've got, that's the stitch that we're missing, and then we're supposed to do 2, but I'm only going to do 1, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, which is this one. Put my hook in, pull through, and then pull through the loop on my hook, because I find that the slip stitch acts as a stitch and it gives you sort of the similar shaping all the way around. Some people like to do the 2 stitches and the slip stitch. It's entirely up to you. And then we just finish off. So now we go back to the blush yarn and we join this into any space. So we're going to go into one of the gaps, not into the stitch, so put your hook into the gap and choose any one, and we're going to join the yarn as we did in the last examples. I showed you how to join it with the petrol. And then what we're going to do with this one is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is our first popcorn stitch. So I'm going to move it over to the right edge of the space and keep my straggler there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put in 3 trebles or doubles in the US into the same space. So 1, 2, 3. I'm sewing around that straggler. Now what we do is we pull out this loop, we put our hook back into the top of the chain 3. Oops. So you want it in that 3rd stitch of the chain 3. Not sure that went into the stitch, I can't see properly, the light's not very good. Just push it into the top of the chain 3 and then pull up the loop, grab hold of the loop again from the 3rd treble and pull it through. Pull it tight and that gives you a popcorn, and chain 2. Okay, that's your first one. Now for the first one you had to have the chain 3 as a standing stitch to get you to height. For the second one we're just going to do 4 trebles. So yarn over into the next space and do 4 treble crochets or double crochets in the US. 3, 4. And this time pull your loop again, this time go into the top of your first treble crochet into that stitch, pull through your loop, pull it tight and chain 2, and then we go into the next space and we do exactly the same again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pull up your loop, put it up as big as you like, it doesn't matter. Go into the top of that, so count back, this is the stitch you're in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into the top of that stitch so that you're underneath those 2 little strands. Go into your loop, pull it through that stitch, and then chain 2. And go on to your next one. Now what you'll find is this gets quite sort of bowly, it's sort of the edges start to curl up, and it feels like it's never going to lie flat, but don't worry about that, it will do once you start working your hexagon shape. So just go around and pop your 4 treble popcorn stitches in. And so we get to the end, and I've just chained 1, and then I'm going to go into the top of the popcorn stitch and do a slip stitch to join. There we go, then I'm going to yarn over, pull through and fasten off. That's the last we need of that colour now. And now I'm going to join the river yarn, and I'm going to join that to any chain 2 space. So I'm going to put my hook into the chain 2 space, grab my river yarn and join it just as I've joined the others. And then I'm going to drop my straggler. I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to do 2 trebles into the same space. Yarn over into the space, work my treble and work another one, and these are doubles in the US. So now we've essentially got the standing chain which acts as a treble and 2 more trebles in that space. Okay, so now in the next space we're going to work a corner. So we're going to put in 2 trebles, and then we're going to put in a double treble, so yarn over twice, and then you pull through 3 times, then chain 2 to make your corner space, yarn over twice, hook into the space, and then 2 trebles. Just because it's sort of curled over a little bit, just be really careful when you're working that you're not grabbing bits that you're not supposed to be grabbing. And in the next space you want to put in 3 trebles, 3 doubles in the US. Now this will start to make your work sort of flatten out a little bit, although it is quite raised, the bobble sections. And then you repeat this round, so we've got 3 trebles here, and now we're going to do another corner. So put your hook in, 2 trebles in the next, a double treble or a treble stitch in the US, 2 chains, a double treble, and 2 trebles, doubles in the US. And then in the next space we're going to put 3 trebles. There's no chains between or anything here, you've got a lot of stitches that are going to sort of flatten your work out and give it a hexagon shape. And then in the next one we do the same thing again, the same corner space, and we end up with 6 corners and 6 sides. So just keep going with that. Okay, so we've finished that final one. So now we just join with the slip stitch to the top of this chain 3 at the beginning, and we fasten off. And now we should have our hexagon shape, all the corners. It's got a nice relief on it. It's lovely, this one. And then for the final one, we go back to a dark blue, which is our petrol, and we join it to any corner space. So put it into the corner space, not the stitch, and join it as I've joined the others. Join it over to the right, and then we're going to chain 1, which acts as a double crochet in UK, single crochet in US, and we're going to put a double crochet or single crochet in US into each stitch across, which is for 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is your first stitch. Don't lose that first stitch. Sometimes you can, and then you throw everything out a kilter. So 1, 2, and I'm sewing in that straggler as I go along. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then into the corners we do 1 double crochet or single crochet in the US, a chain 2, and 1 double crochet or single crochet in the US, all in that same corner space. And then we do 9 again across the end, across the side, 1 into each of the previous round stitches. I'm just doing my 9th stitch along the side here, and then I'm just going to pop another single crochet into the corner space, chain, well, you can chain 2 and do a slip stitch. I prefer to chain 1 and do the slip stitch, so it gives me a nice even spacing, and fasten off, and that's that one completed. It's really nice, lovely textureful one when that's on the blanket. That's what I'm looking forward to. This blanket is going to have so much texture. It's a little bit puckered at the side, it's fine once they're all done. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again for the next one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight on to I've done the joining and edging videos before, so I'm not going to repeat that. I'm going to go straight on to the next hexagon. Okay, thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.